Hello everyone, welcome to another Stamp Chatter video. So today I received this kit that I got for free during Celebration. It's one of the added options in February. This is the Rainbow Celebration Kit. And I thought I would open it up with you and make one of the cards and then show you, hopefully, some alternatives or some different ways that we can use the product in this kit to make some fun cards. So let me just open this up. All right. So this kit comes with the supplies to make, I believe, 6 rainbow cards. There's no stamping involved. All the cards are pretty much the same, except some of the colors of the rainbow change. And of course the sayings from happy birthday to it's your day, but they're all the same. So I'm just gonna make one as the kit describes, and then I'm gonna use the rest of the pieces to play around and make alternative cards. And I might bring in some other stamps that I have, maybe dies, we'll see how it goes. So here are the words. There are 3 different languages there. Would be the same for these. Put those aside. So here are some of the rainbow pieces. And these are the clouds. All right, so, and here are the rainbow cards. Okay, so I think we could have a lot of fun with these. So there are 2 of each kind. So you can see they're all rainbows. It's just that the colors are different. So let's make one of them. Let's make this one. This looks like Melon Mambo. And we'll follow the instructions here. Let's move this out of the way. Move this out of the way. And bring this in. Okay, so I have this one. That's what it's showing me, that it's this one. And it wants me to take one of the clouds and one of these semicircles. So let's pull this out. And in fact, I'm actually going to take all of them out so that I know I'm going to be playing with them anyway. So now keep in mind, these are different sizes. I'm not, well, that's the second size, we can tell, because that's going over top of the, what looks like could be pumpkin pie. So make sure you have the right one. Take out this one. Okay, so these would fit the different sizes. So that fits the second ring. This would fit, not sure where that would fit, the last ring. Yeah, kind of the outer edge of the last ring. That must be in one of these. Maybe, it's in this one. So this is the one we want. So I'm actually gonna stick this, even though it doesn't really show, in between the Melon Mambo and what I think is pumpkin pie, and do that. And punch out one of these clouds, and I'm not gonna throw away this part where the cloud stencil comes out of, because I think we can do some fun stenciling with that, so don't throw that out. And let's bring in, oh, what else do we need? Cheers and happy birthday. Okay, so cheers and happy birthday. You gonna find it before me? It's definitely not on that one. Oh, there we go. Happy birthday. It's right there. Couldn't see that there for a minute. All right, happy birthday. And the word cheers. Okay, that's all there is to this simple little card. All right, here are my dimensions that come in the Stampin' Up! Kits. Now, they are a little different than the dimensions you buy through Stampin' Up! They're slightly thicker, actually, so they're a little raised up a little more. So let me, it even tells you how many, and there is a reason those 3 are in the middle, because why? I'm not sure why. I thought maybe you put that semicircle rainbow after the fact, but doesn't make sense, but sometimes it does. It's not today. Maybe I'm missing something. I don't know. Let's just do it. 1, 2, 3. It's not really showing you what comes first. I think it stands to reason that the rainbow is probably goes on first. Oh, what is that? Oh, there's 2 stuck together. All right. So let's put one there, one here, 2 more, one on the bottom, one on the top, and I'll take my pick tool. I'll just pick these off. Okay, so let's bring the card back in. Now, this doesn't go, like I said, it's going to go in between the 2 outer colors. So let's just do that. Yep. Didn't take that end off. All right, just like that. And then our cloud can go on the bottom, just like this. I have seen some people that have made this kit. Oh, I guess that goes over the, and they've taken their blend brush and some Pool Party and just accented those clouds. And let's, which is also a little bit of an alternative, but adds a little pizzazz. So let's take these. This is a very, very simple kit to make, great for kids if they want to make some birthday cards for their friends. And it's free during celebration, so even better. All right, so happy birthday. I'm gonna try and follow the picture exactly. There's happy birthday. Okay, and here is cheers. And we've put this quite low, actually. All right, pretty simple. Pretty simple. There you go. 1 down. Now, all 6 of them are very similar. It's just that this polka dotted ring goes, they're just different sizes of them. What did I do with them? Here we go. So there's a smaller one that's going to be for a different card, and then the medium, middle size. So I'm going to punch everything out now, and I'm going to do a little playing and see what I can do that's different than this kit. So I'm going to do that right now, and I'll be right back. Okay, so here's my first alternative card. So I've made a gift card holder. You don't actually have to if you don't want to. You just don't have to glue that flap down. But I did because I wanted it to stay down. Without it, it kept popping up. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to turn it into a gift card holder and make it a birthday card. So the only stamp set that I used for this one is from Playing in the Rain, and it's that little rabbit. So let's bring in some black ink right here. Let's put this aside. I'll give you all the measurements that I used to make that one. Okay, let's stamp this little guy. Put that aside. Nothing gets dirty. Let that dry. All right, so I'm going to bring in some colors, not very many. In fact, just 3. Melon Mambo, Lemon Lime Twist, and this is the Summer Splash. So those are the colors that are in the rainbow that's in this kit. So I'm going to take the dark one, and I'll color as no. I'm not going to do a lot of coloring on this one. I'm just going to give it essentially a touch of color. I'm going to take the dark lemon lime and just go over some areas that I want to be darker or shadowed a bit. No, I'll do his collar. I always forget that. And then I'll bring in the light and just go over everything. Just like that. See, my tip's getting a bit worn out. I'm going to bring my dark in again. Maybe not. So when you color with blends, it's important to sort of keep in mind that there's sort of, you're layering color on top of each other. So let me just show you. If I swipe once, and then I swipe twice, and then I swipe 3 times, I'm actually going to get 3 different shades a little bit. And that's important to note when you're trying to create a shadow in your coloring. Especially depends on the colors that you're using. I find some of these lighter colors need a little bit more darkening help. Like that. And you don't want to overdo it. You can get it to bleed. I didn't really wait long enough for my memento to dry properly on that one, but that's okay. All right, I'm bringing in the light Melon Mambo and just gonna do like his little tongue. Oops, I didn't like that too much. All right, mistakes happen. Okay, just a little shadow, his little bit of pink under its feet. And then I'm going to bring in some Summer Splash and my Winkastella. I'm going to put some ink on the lid here by squeezing it. Take my Winkastella and I'm just going to pick up some of that ink and put it in the puddle here until it fades out. And I want to go fast. So I'm not sure if you can pick up the glitter on that or not, but you'll have to trust me. Okay, and then we will go and cut her. I'm calling it a her. Bring in some of my tape. Now, again, you'll notice that the puddle does not get cut out, and I do want the puddle. So I'm going to run this through my machine, but I'm only going to run it down to that foot so that I can cut the rest out. So I'll do that and I'll be right back. Okay, so you can see that I have cut just down to his foot about here. And we will take off the die. I'll bring in my scissors. And I'm just going to trim this down so I don't have a lot of cardstock in my way. And I'll trim out that petal. Look at that. Perfect. Okay, so we have the little rabbit. So let's put her up here. All right, I'm gonna use this. Now, after I made that first card at the beginning of this video, I clued in that the cards, yes, they're not different colors, they're different arrangements of colors, but what you need to keep in mind is that each rainbow is a different thickness on every card. So let's bring this one in. You can see that this first and second rainbow are quite thick, whereas on this card it's quite thin. Now, the only reason I'm saying that is if you want to do alternative cards and you have certain ideas in mind, that may come into play, and I'll show you that in the second alternative card, even in this one actually. I didn't actually put one of the rainbows in here because I did it too late. I should have put it on first and then cut it, but you see how it went into the left panel, and it would have only left me a bit of a sliver, and so I didn't bother. I just left the rainbow as is. But if you want to add that, add it first before you cut your cardstock. Okay, so let me bring in some lemon lime, and we're going to cut this at 4 1/4 by 11. 4 1/4. And we're going to score it at 1 1/4. And we're going to score it at 6 3/4. Okay, so then we have our flap, and then we have this portion. So perfect. Okay, so now I'm going to layer the outside, and I'm going to layer it with Pretty Peacock. So we're going to do that, and that is going to be a scant. What I mean by that is we're going to have, let me see, a 4. We know that this is now 4 1/4 square. So I want it just under 4 1/4. So I'm going to make it 3 7/8 by, nope, did it wrong. Don't want that. I want 4 1/8. 4 1/8 by 4 1/8. There we go. 4 1/8 by 4 1/8. And then I will do another layering piece. All right, so that should give me a scant border, which is perfect. And I'm going to bring in some glimmer paper right here, glimmer paper, and I'm going to cut this down to 4 by 4. So I'm going to keep a bit of that darker side on it. This is Stampin' Up! Pastel Ombre Glimmer specialty paper. And so it has this gradient color to it. And I think there's 3 colors. A purple, a light blue, and this green. They don't claim to be colors, Stampin' Up! Colors, but they do work. So 4 by 4, and I think this is already 4. Yep. All right, and then I'm going to bring this back, and I'm going to cut it down to 1 inch, just like that. I'm going to make another border that is 1 1/8 by 4 1/8. Is that right? Yeah, and that's already it because I cut that big piece out of that paper. So there we go. I'm going to bring this card base back in, and I'm going to close it. This is going to be the front, I'm going to add that. So let's do that first. And you know what? I am opening up a brand new Tombow glue because I know I am near the end in my other one, which seems to always happen when I record. I don't know what that is, but all right, this one's nice and full. So we have this, and this glimmer paper, it's quite, I don't want to say quite, it's heavier cardstock for sure. All right, let's add that to the front of our card. Oh dear. Okay, now I'm gonna have the dark glimmer go to the outside. Okay, now we'll layer that up. Okay. Oop, make sure you close that. Put that on the front. So there is my front so far. Okay, so what we're gonna do is take this piece, we're gonna have to cut it here. So I'm just gonna do that by hand. Okay, and then we want to, we know that that glimmer piece is 4 inches, so I'm gonna cut it, I'm gonna measure from the right side here to the left at 4 inches. I'm gonna cut off 4 inches, just like that. So that will tuck in right there. Now, obviously on this one, I have it going above the card, and I don't want to cut that off because obviously I want it to continue looking like a rainbow. So I'm just going to snip off 1/4 of an inch from the bottom. I'm actually going to bring this piece in as well because they're both going to have to be cut off at just 1/4 of an inch off the bottom. That's all you need. Okay, bring that in. So then this will fit. And at this point, if you wanted to use that extra one of these, and again, if you look at the picture of the instructions, each extra rainbow goes on a certain colored pattern card. This one would fit here if I wanted. I don't think this was the one meant for it, but it doesn't matter. I'm not going to actually put it on this one, but if you want to, maybe glue that on before you cut, because if you only get a small portion on the left side of your card, then you don't want to have to guess, obviously, at what the size is. So do that. I like that. I'm going to glue this down. I'm putting a generous amount of glue on here because it's not always easy to stick to that glimmer paper. And I want a really good, for it to adhere really well. Okay. And then we'll take this side. I wouldn't even use my sticky tape for this. Glue on that glimmer paper to me works much better. It's up to you. Whatever works for you. All right, I have my rainbow. Okay, I'm just going to do the inside of the card before we finish the outside. And again, I'm going to take in some of that Pretty and Peacock. I don't think this is big enough, or is it? So what I want is a 4 1/4, 4 1/8, 4 1/8 on the inside by 5 3/8. 1, 2, 3/8. That is going to be, now I just did the inside. I know that I'm going to close this and cover it up. If you would prefer to have a separate square in there, your measurements would be different. Just take off a 1 1/4 inch from this, maybe actually 1 3/8, so that you have a little bit of the green showing through. It doesn't bother me, and so I'm just going to do it this way. I'll bring in some white, and this is going to be 5 1/4 by 4. Just like that. Glue this all down. So I'm putting a layered inside because the front of this card is a bit heavy. I don't want to say chunky, but it is heavy. And so to match that heaviness, I'm going to add these layers on the inside, and then the card feels a little more balanced. And you may or may not care about that. I just thought it physically felt better when I opened it up. Okay, that is our inside. And I'm going to put some tearaway tape, if I have any left. Oop, a little bit. Just going to put a strip up at the top here, one at the bottom. And we'll get that part done and out of the way. I wouldn't stamp anything in here yet, in case your image that you stamp is too big maybe. You don't want to hide it by closing that flap. Now I have a little bit of glue on here. I'm just going to erase it away. All right, just like that. So I'm going to take some Pretty and Peacock ink as the last part of the inside of the card. And I'm going to stamp Happy Birthday. I'm going to take it from Simply Said. Grab a block. Okay. And now I can center it, or maybe put it up a little bit, give me room to write. So you can see that I could have made this a square to the right of that flap if I wanted to. It didn't bother me. Either way works. Whatever you like. Make sure that's dry. You don't want that to smudge. So we'll give it some extra insurance by waving it around. Okay. Let's close this. I'm just going to put this on top to make it stay closed. Let's decorate our front. So let me bring back Ms. Bunny, and let's bring in the rainbow, the clouds. So here are my clouds. I'm going to center them this way. I am going to use the dimensions and pop them up. So let's snip a little bit of this off So we have this. Now you could measure if you wanted to, because we know that this glimmer piece is 4 by 4, so you could just snip off 4 inches. I sometimes don't like doing that, so I'm just going to take a pencil and put a little mark up here, bring in my cutter, should land at 4 inches, and it does. Maybe a smidgen over. Okay. And if it is, that's okay. We will just cut it down. And it is ever so slightly. I'm actually going to trim the smaller edge because I'm more likely to get that straight than that one. So I'm just shaving off a hair. There you go. Because I still want that blue border to show. That's why I did it that way. Can't remember if I did that on the first one, but that's what I'm doing with this one. All right, so pop this up. Maybe one more. Put that in here. And now we'll take this piece. Again, that should be, let me see, that was 1 1/4, which made that 1 not 1 1/8. Can't remember. I can't even remember my measurements. Let me think. This was 4, so 4. See, this is why. This is why I'd rather just put a little pencil mark and trim it off. Because then I don't have to think all that much. Okay, that was, you can still see my pencil mark, so it's going to be over. Yep, that's okay. Take it, my scissors. There we go. And we'll pop that up. Put 2. Like that. And where is my, there it is. Put my rabbit. Isn't the rabbit cute? Cute, cute. All right, so you can put, I'm gonna cut this in half unless it fits. Yeah, it fits there. One in his other ear. Yep. And I will put a little bit of liquid glue on the bottom, kind of halfway down his coat into the puddle. Cute. Okay, let's decide what we want to put on here. Yippee, let's celebrate. I think cheers. I'm going to use cheers. Cheers. Now make sure you don't glue to the flap that you have stuck down there. Let's celebrate. Is that what I want? You know, not that it matters, but maybe I will use yippee. Only because this let's celebrate seems to be a very lengthy saying, and I want something a bit chunkier up top. So I'm going to pop up the yippee. Put 2 dimensions here. Make sure that that is on that side, and then I will glue this down. this new glue comes out a bit fast. Slide that up. All right, and there is my first alternative card. So I have one more to show you, and so let me clean up here and I'll be right back. Okay, so here is my second alternative, and this is just a gate card, gatefold card. And I put a little belly band around it, and then we just open it up, and it says birthday wishes. So this is a super quick alternative card to make. We're just going to slide that back up in place, and let me show you how I did that. So I wasn't really, I don't know, I'm not 100% sure on the white base card, but nothing else seemed to tickle my fancy, so that's what we're going to stick with. So we're going to cut a base that's 5.5 by 8.5, and we're going to put 2 score lines in it, 2 1/8, and just flip it around and do another 2 1/8. Now, I did emboss my background because I wasn't happy with the stark white behind it, so I used the other celebration freebie that you can order, and that is the Stars Struck embossing folder. I guess there are little stars in there. A lot of people says it looks like daisies, but it has a lot of circles in it too, so I thought that would kind of go well with that. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this to my machine, and I'm just going to emboss this section, and then I'll run it through and emboss that section, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have those 2 sides embossed, and I'm going to bring them together by folding them. I'm gonna fold this. I do want them to touch, that is important. So push them together, hold them in place, and then put your crease. I'm gonna flip that over, bring in my bone folder, give that a good crease. Okay, so I have that. All right, so now I'm gonna bring in my rainbow card. We're gonna cut this off. We're gonna cut the edges a little bit. So if it's not perfectly straight, that's okay. And we're going to cut this in half. So this is exactly 5 inches. So the halfway part will be 2.5. So let's bring this up here. Two and a half. Now this one I kind of cut the edges by hand, but it was a bit hard to do that on the fold. So I'm going to cut these down, and I also cut the center out. I'm not going to do that this time around, but I'm going to cut these down to 2 1/8 because that is the width of my panels. So let's bring this back, and I'll have to use, I'm going to put it upside down, 2 1/8. Okay, that should fit that side, and then 2 1/8. We want to take that side off, so 2 1/8. Make sure that I got that right. 2 1/8. Okay. Okay, so we have that. Okay, so let's just go ahead and glue that down. Now, let me think. I'm gonna center this one. I mean, you could put this all the way to the bottom. No, that wouldn't be nice. You could put it higher, I guess, if you wanted. Maybe I'll do that, because then the belly band will come up further. You don't want the belly band to be too low, so I'm gonna do that. I'm going to put this rainbow a little higher. this. On the other side. All right, like that. So let's bring in our clouds. Now, I used Summer Splash on this with a blending brush, but I didn't do a very good job because I could not find my sponges or my finger daubers, and I still can't find them. So I think I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to leave it as is. If you want to, you can add some color to that. I'm going to bring in one of the extra rainbows, and it is the smaller one. So you do want to be careful what size you have going here, because if you picked one of the rainbow cards that takes the bigger side, you're not going to be able to put your words in there. So make sure you go with the smaller one if you're going to do a gatefold card like this. And we're also going to do a belly band. So I'm going to take some lemon lime here, and it's going to be a pretty narrow piece. I'm just going to cut this down by 1/2 inch or even a smidge over. I don't want it to show. I want it to hide behind that cloud. And it's maybe a smidge. Maybe a smidge too much, but that's okay. We'll figure, no, we're good. Okay. So go ahead and take your belly band and loosely wrap it around your card. And I say loosely because you want to be able to get it on and off. So I'm lining mine up with the bottom of that rainbow so I know that I'm straight. And I'm just going to gently fold this over, not super tight. I'm going to bring that together. And here I'm just going to use some tape, along with dog hair. All right, so that's should be loose, hopefully. Hopefully, yeah, okay. So let's bring that up to the bottom of our, oops, getting caught. So I'm bringing that up to the bottom of the rainbow, because here is where I want my clouds to go. So we know this is 4 1/4, so you could go on your trimmer and trim this off. I'm gonna trim like that, maybe. I think that looks funny. I'm just gonna do this. Okay, and then I will bring it to here and get my trusty pencil measurement. And we'll just snip that extra piece off. A little bit of pencil on there. Let's see. Good. All right. Just take my eraser and get rid of that. I'm going to pop this up. Also, I didn't do that on the first, but I think it looks better if it's popped up. So I will put some dimensions right on the belly band. And I think that's better. Okay, now we will bring in our rainbow, and we're going to put glue just on the bottom 1/2 inch. Glue, a glue dot, whatever you want. I'm going to do glue because it's going to give me a little bit of wiggle room, and I think I'm going to need it. Just slide this. This is going to go under the belly band. So slide it into place. Make sure that everything, I can actually see the ends of the rainbow piece, and I'm going to just tack that down, just like that. So this should slide. Perfect. Just like that. All right, let's bring in hooray or cheers. What else do I have left here? I know I have another piece somewhere. Cheers. Happy birthday. All right. So we could go right across if we wanted to. I kind of like that it goes off-centered like that. So I'm going to pop up cheers. Make sure that sticks down there. And then I will tack on the happy birthday. So behind the A and the Y, I will put a little bit of glue. If you're worried about it coming apart and you want to center it so that you get a little bit of tack on both sides of the ring, you can do that. I might actually do that. A little bit of glue. Just like that. All right, so that is the gateway card, but we're not quite done. We're going to open this up, and we are going to take the piece that we cut off earlier, and we're going to put that in the middle, just like that. So again, this is 4 1/4. So, and we know that this is 2 1/2. So I'm going to find my center, or sorry, the center is 2 1/2. It's 5 inches long. So I'm going to put a little mark. Not sure if you can see that I did that little mark in the center. And I know that's 5 1/2. And I'm going to bring in my cutter. I want 4 1/4 ultimately. So so 2 1/8 from each side, because that's half of 4 1/4 is what I want. So I want it to come, so what is that? 1, 2, that is 3/8 plus a 1/16, which is why I put a little pencil mark, because I don't need to be bothered with measuring that. So I'm going to turn this around, bring it to the bottom, do it again. So I put that center mark in the center channel. I'm making sure that this is straight and putting a pencil mark at 2 1/8. Okay, now I'm going to cut off where my pencil marks are. I might have to make it a smidgen smaller. Go up here, make sure that I'm straight across, and let's see if that fits. It'll fit. Will it fold close? And it does. Now, you can see a little bit in the middle. That's because there is like a smidge I could probably take off. And you know what? I'm going to take my little mini guillotine, and I'm going to do it that way. That's better, because now when I fold it, there we go. My center comes together. Okay, so let's put, I'm going to stamp this first, actually, in case I make a mistake and I want to use another card sitting here. So bring in my happy birthday, and I had the peacock blue, pretty peacock, that is right here. Now, there is something else you could do if you wanted to. I don't think I'm going to, but you could take one of these extra rings. You might have to cut that off, even cut this off. I'm not going to do it, but it is an idea. Okay, birthday wishes. Bring this back in. I'm going to make sure it's in the same position. I got a little pencil mark there. All right, let's glue it. So I'm going to say that this isn't the easiest kit to do alternative cards with. Just because there's not a whole lot of pieces to play with. I mean, if you bring in your own cardstock and stuff like that, maybe not so bad, but I found it a challenging one, but I managed to make 2 alternatives, so that's good. So again, you can get this kit during Celebration for $75 Canadian in other product. Then you can choose this kit for free, $60 in the US, and you can pick this one for free. And I keep, one of my corners is not up, so I'm gonna, well, I'll do that later. It's snagging because my corners aren't quite down. So here you go. That is the gatefold card, and my gift card holder, otherwise known, I think, bookbinding, I think they might call this. I don't know. I don't know what the folds are called. I kind of ignore that part and just make cards. So there you go. Those are the 2 alternatives. And where is my one from the kit? Doesn't, oh, right here. Here's the kit version. And then here are my 2 alternatives. So thanks guys so much for watching me today. I hope you enjoyed that. And we will see you on the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.